What's up, creepers? I totally forgot what we call our listeners.
For a while. Creepers. I hope my Audacity doesn't do some crazy shit because as I was recording my shorty earlier, it just went haywire and a few clips were missing. That is all I needed to say.
Surprise, surprise. I was about to say something and then I forgot because we were both drinking water.
It was like, whoop.
Hydrating at the same time. But yeah. Oh, by the way, by the time this episode will be out, the Netflix series called Trece, which is like about... You guys just watch it. You should watch it. It's about our culture. It's about a detective, a girl detective, girl supernatural detective. So it's pretty cool.
I feel like every time you reiterate the sentence, you add like a word, a single word every time until we form the actual thought.
Yes, that is my thinking process. But yeah, you guys should watch it. We love that series. It really is like, if you want to get to know Filipino mythology, but not like get overwhelmed, listen to us and then watch Trece.
Exactly. There's actually a graphic novel, is it? Or is it comics?
Yes. Yeah.
Graphic novel. Yeah. So it started from there. It's based on that. And then now they have an animated series on Netflix, which you guys should watch. We are also not paid for this. It's just...
We are not paid for it. We are like fangirls over this.
Yes.
Also, the creator we love, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Budget?
I don't know. We still have not
But we love him. Mr. Tan.
Pronounce.
We're sorry. We don't know how to pronounce your name because we're stupid. But we love you so much.
Yes. Oh my god. Have I told you? I think you know already though. He follows us on our socials.
Yes!
Like every time. So he first followed us on Facebook a few years ago because that's the only social media account we had. And then now that we have Instagram, he follows us there.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my god, thank you so much.
Yeah. In case you're listening to this, you might not, but in case you're hearing this, we love you so much.
Fangirls.
Anyway, so this week I don't know how to segue. I literally went this week.
Wait, stop. Did we say welcome to Conversations? We got so excited. So, yeah, now we can properly welcome you guys. I'm Nikki, and I look weird.
And I'm Kalai, and you can't really probably see my face because I have glasses on. I don't know where my contact lenses are. So, like, for the past few recordings, I've been wearing glasses. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's not important.
No, but they need a reason to see Patreon for that.
Yes. Oh, speaking of Patreon, what are you covering for the shorty this week?
It's about a fish. That's all I'm gonna say. It's about a fish, period.
I can't remember. I literally can't remember what my topic was. Let me check. Fuck, I don't know. I forgot.
Oh, maybe I should give a little bit more context to what I was covering because, like, fish is so generic. But this fish was thought to be extinct, and it's related to the lungfishes that evolved into humans. And people have rediscovered them again. So apparently they're not extinct. And yeah,
if you want to know more, check out our shorties. We have a lot of like shorties that we haven't released.
Yep.
In our main feed. It's only available on Patreon. So if you want to listen and check them out, it's available on Patreon. So yeah. Anyway. I don't know how to segue anymore, so I'll just get right to it. This week, I'll be covering Chen Jui-Chin, or the Chiayi Demon from... Demon? I don't know how to talk again. Every time we start the podcast, I'm like, mouth not working. But yeah, the Chiayi Demon from Taiwan. By the way, I might again mispronounce some words, names, and places. Like, I literally searched for the proper pronunciation, but you know, I could still be wrong, so it's okay if you want to yell at me on the internet.
We would appreciate that.
Also, this made me realize this is why there aren't many Asian true crime podcasts.
Because we can't pronounce their names.
Yes. But also, I love it because, like, it's so distinct to our culture.
Yes.
I love it. Anyway, so my sources for this episode is Taipei Times and Wikipedia. Actually, really had a hard time researching this.
Why?
Like, outside of Wikipedia, because most of the results are in Mandarin. And, like, whenever I use Google Translate, it does not make sense. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So yeah, but thank God for Taipei Times. We're not being paid for this. I swear. Also, trigger warning, graphic violence and violence towards children will be mentioned in this episode. So brace yourself. Right. So on May 12, 2003, the body of Chen Yi-ling was found by a jogger in the Shanlinshi resort area. And then on May 22, 2003, the Chiayi County Police arrested 54-year-old Chen Jui-Chin for murdering Chen Yi-ling. During the investigation into that murder, Nantou County prosecutors discovered that 5 members of Chen's family and extended family had died in what appeared to be an unusual string of incidents over a 13-year period, and that he received like an estimated amount of money, which is 22 million new Taiwanese dollars from their life insurance policies.
Hold on. Why did that take a bit of time on your part to say the number?
Because in my notes, new Taiwanese dollars was written as NT, and I was like, what does this mean again? So I was like, buffer, put words that aren't in your notes until you remember what it means. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, and the reason why he was arrested was that he was picked up at Chiayi Christian Hospital, and he had gone to the hospital to get treatment for wounds he suffered after getting beaten up by the people that he owed money to. So that is going to come back around. So according to Nantou Chief Prosecutor Wang Chengqie, we had a long talk on Tuesday night. Early this morning, he finally admitted that the deaths of 4 of his family members were his work. He wanted to get money from their insurance policies. However, Chen Jui-Chin insisted that he had nothing to do with his second wife's death. For that, we still need more time to investigate. But on June 8, 2003, Chen eventually admitted that he did murder his second wife. So, yep.
It's like, oh, I changed my mind. I actually killed her.
This dude actually like loves to do that. Like, he loves to, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but nah, like he's like that. But yeah, who is he? So there isn't much like information about him, about his childhood. There could be, but they might be in Mandarin. So but if you guys have more information about him, email it to us at creepyconvos@gmail.com. But yeah, all we could find about him in English is that he graduated from junior high school and then proceeded to the horticulture department of National Chiayi University. He then volunteered to be a soldier in the Air Force, from where he obtained the rank of officer, and then he eventually became a captain. And then we don't know what happened there, but after that, because usually if you're like at the Air Force, I think you're going to stay in the military, unless if they have like, I'm not sure if Taiwan has like the same thing as Korea where like men have to like be part of the military for some time.
It's like national service. They also have that here in Singapore, actually.
Yeah, right. I don't know if Taiwan has that. I think they do, and that's why he was like from an officer to captain, and then he had another job after it. Because after his time at the Air Force, He started working as a technician for the Chinese Petroleum Corporation, but the company started laying off employees. And instead of waiting if he was going to be like one of those that were going to be let go, he decided to quit and started searching for work as an oil allocation engineer, which is like, for me, that's a very specific job.
Right? I mean, technically speaking, all his jobs are very specialized. Right?
Like, from studying horticulture, the National Chiayi University, he, like, started working for the Air Force and then, like, working for oil companies. Like, this dude is versatile. Like, he's flexible.
I feel like he's trying to learn different things and aspects from those industries.
Maybe.
Which is, like, quite scary, actually.
He wanted to be, like, the jack of all trades. We don't know. He's not alive anymore. Spoiler alert.
Damn it. Now we need to just end the podcast. They all know. He dies.
That's it. Bye. Anyway, back to him. So yeah, he wasn't able to find any jobs as like an oil allocation engineer, probably because it's so specific that there's only like a few of them. So he applied for a job at the Newport Township Office Finance section, which is another like, this dude is like trying everything.
Did he get the job? Because I'm starting to wonder, what are the qualifications for these jobs and why do you hire people who maybe do not have the experience for it?
The 90s were wild, man. This is like in the 80s or 70s.
Oh my god! Just name every fucking decade.
But yeah, I think it's in the 70s. Anyway, back then, before the boomers were like, I want that job, I can get that job. Unlike before that you need like 10 years of experience to get a job. Anyway, back to him. Because of his gambling habits, he owed money to loan sharks. And he eventually resorted to like becoming quote unquote resourceful and finding ways that he could pay off his debts. So Chen married his first wife, Chiayi Demon, I think that's how you pronounce it. In 1974, they had a son and 2 daughters together. On New Year's in 1985, Cheng accidentally fell off the bed and suffered a concussion. Jui-Chin lied by claiming that she had fallen off the bed and died of intracranial hemorrhage, and he was able to get 2.35 million new Taiwanese dollars in insurance money. Chen initially said that Cheng did accidentally fall off the bed, and instead of helping his wife, Chen dragged her off the bed and slammed her head into the ground several times until he was sure that Cheng wasn't alive anymore. But eventually he admitted that he did push her off the bed, and when he realized that she was still alive, he did what I mentioned earlier, which was, slam her head multiple times.
I'm so confused. It's like, you know what? I'll marry someone, I'll make a lot of kids, and then put them up for insurance and shit, and then I'm gonna kill them. That is such an effort.
You're right. He did the most.
I know.
Also, where did he get the idea? Like, I don't know. Anyway, he probably was just like, insurance. I'm gonna kill people to get insurance.
I'm just trying to do math here as well, right? So when you get married, that costs money. When you have kids, that cost money. So is the insurance really worth it? Or are you just like, is this covering anything at all?
Yeah. It's not very, like, well thought out.
Yeah. It tells you a lot about this person.
True. So, only 6 months after Cheng's death, his first wife, Chen remarried to an elementary school teacher named Wang Shuying. Wang had a son from a previous marriage whom Jui-Chin adopted. In 1988, again, Jui-Chin was heavily in debt and desperate for money. This dude does not know how to stop. That's what he is.
Exactly.
So, in order to obtain a fraudulent compensation of 4.6 million new Taiwanese dollars, he pretended to discipline his 15-year-old stepson, his adopted son, by slapping him so hard that the child fell and hit his head on the concrete wall. On some reports, when he realized that his stepson was still alive, he choked him to death. The child, quote-unquote, died, the child died, quote-unquote, as a result from the injury. I'm putting the wrong quotes on the wrong words.
It's like, did he really die? Quote-unquote.
No, he unfortunately did die, but the report was as a result from the injury, and then Chen was able to claim the insurance money on his stepson. This man thinks he can get away with anything, and also this trait is very common when it comes to like serial killers that kill their own family, like black widows that poison their husband. They think they can get away with it, like with anything now, so they get cocky and confident. So they do the most.
I'm wondering why there's like a process for him. Like if his motive is to kill the kid or like his family, why doesn't he just do it in the simplest way? Why does it have to be like, oh, I gotta make it look like an accident but still eventually batter them anyway because they're not dead? Like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
It's planned, but also the way he kills them, like he didn't think about the actual process of like doing it, but the act of murder was like premeditated.
He clearly does not know his physics.
He would be classified as an unorganized killer. That's what he is. So, anyway, back to him. In 1995, no surprise at all, Jui-Chin was facing another financial crisis, and this time he decided to target his own 15-year-old son. With a heavy brick, he hit his own son at the back of the head, cracking his skull. And then Chen Jui-Chin lied about his son having died in a car accident and fraudulently received 4.72 million new Taiwanese dollars. What he did actually was that he like fake crashed the car and then like left the crime scene and rode a taxi, and like eventually the taxi driver was like a witness to it. Like he thought the taxi driver didn't see him come out of the car crash, but the taxi driver didn't report it because he was like confused as to what was happening. He thought no one was in that car. He just thought that this dude survived from a car crash. Like, that's what he thought. Anyway,
this is so stupid. He crashed the car. He could have sold the fucking car to pay for his debt. I cannot deal with how stupid this guy is. Like, come on.
Maybe the car isn't worth 4.72 million. I don't know.
He could sell them by parts. Like, I'm so done. Like, I'm trying to help you here. I want you to pay that debt.
But not this way.
I know.
In 1996, Chen learned that his second wife, Wang Shuying, had been coveting insurance claims and real estate for teachers. Under the pretense of going on a trip, they drove together to Xinjiang. Suddenly, Chen stopped the car, pulled out a wooden stick from under the driver's seat, and beat his wife to death. After the murder, Chen dumped her body on Xishan Road in Chiayi, creating the illusion of another car accident. Since he had blood on his clothes, Jui-Chin was reluctant about catching a taxi back home. So his method was like different from like how he did it from his like own son, where he like rode a taxi. So he like found another way. And this time he received 11.37 new Taiwanese dollars, and he also received her pension. he got a lot of money out of like
from her.
Yeah, from her second or third wife.
Second. Is this coming from the same insurance place? Because if I were working for that, I'd be like, why is everyone just dying from your family every time?
The 90s were different. No, but they will eventually like notice after a while that this dude has been going through it multiple times.
Right?
But yeah.
And then it usually starts with the kids too.
Wait, no, it started with his first wife and then like the kids, and then this dude is not smart.
Still.
That's all I can say. Chen's late wife often visited a clothing store owned by a woman named Yan Li-Chin, a widow with 2 children. After more than a month from his wife's death, Chen took the initiative to like try to be in a relationship with this woman. And then after like quite some time of like pursuing her, and this is what I think he did, like he was love bombing her, which is what
is that?
Psychopaths do to manipulate you. Like they give you flowers and they love bomb you, like flowers and like things that you want, so that you'd be like, oh, he's so sweet, he's putting so much effort into a relationship, and then you eventually like fall for them. But that's what's called a love bombing, so that you'd be manipulated into being in a relationship with someone.
Shit, that might work with me.
Yeah, a lot of manipulative like psychopaths do that in order to like get the person to be in a relationship with them. So y'all better watch out.
I feel like for him, it's like when he tries to date someone, I bet his first question is like, so do you have children? I love children.
Oh my God.
No, because I feel like he's always looking for someone who has a kid he can adopt. I'm pretty sure he's aware
true.
It will take a while for the woman to get pregnant and then have kids rather than just get someone who already has one.
That's true. I feel like he's like, he has a list of like women who have children.
Criteria. It's like this one's divorced, this one's a widow, has kids. Yes.
Yes. Pursue check.
Oh my God.
He has like a dark checklist. So yeah, where was I? Shit, yeah. Eventually, Yan was moved and they married in 1997. And then his behavior was unchanged and he tried to fraudulently clear his debts the following year. Yan had a 16-year-old son who was having a headache, and Yan was not around at that time. So Chen fed him sleeping pills, claiming that they were painkillers. And while the son was sleeping, Chen carried him to the stairs, then dropped him on his head, like creating an illusion of an accidental death. He then applied for an insurance claim of 15.5 million new Taiwanese dollars, but the insurance company, who had noticed that he had multiple relatives that had died of suspicious injuries relating to head trauma, but they still paid him 250 new Taiwanese dollars because I think
by policy they have to.
Yeah, they have to, but they have to like investigate what was going on, so that they only gave him like partial of what was the actual amount.
You know how stupid he was? He already gave the kid sleeping pills. The least he could have done was just OD the kid. I think that would have been less painful. Not that I condone that, but you guys get what I mean, I think.
Yeah, he really was probably deeply violent that he needed to like beat people to death, or like, you know, like he needed physical violence to like kill someone.
All his victims died violent
brutally
deaths.
Yes, that's true. Also later on you'll find out how stupid this guy is. So Yan, his third wife, believed that her son had been murdered, so she continued to investigate for possible evidence to prove it. Jui-Chin tried to deceive Yan by putting on a condom on the boy's genitals and explaining that he had died while having sex.
What?
Like,
what?
Why would you go through this? He fell down the stairs. Why would you claim that he died while having sex? Like, I don't get
what
the
is
thought
the
process.
Yes, I was gonna say, like, I'm so confused.
Like, how violent are your sexual acts for you to be like, you know what? A person could die while having sex. You know what I mean? Like, it is the least possible thing that could happen to a teenager.
And the thing is like, what did you do for you to fall down the stairs while having sex?
Right? And where is the girl? Like, where's the person that he was having sex with? Like, ugh.
He's very creative in the weirdest way possible.
In like the darkest, weirdest way possible. Like,
it doesn't make sense.
You know what? Let me try to convince my wife by putting a condom on him. Like, it doesn't make sense, dude. Like,
also, why would you think that? I mean, when you try to come up with something plausible, I don't think that's the first thing that you think of, especially since you have to like remove his clothes and then put on the condom on your kid. Like, what?
Right?
He's sick.
He might also have some type of
fetish.
You notice how he's only killing the boys? He had 2 daughters from his first marriage, but he's only like killing the boys.
And they're both the same age or similar age
they're all,
range.
Yeah. He must have been doing, like, he must have had like psychosexual shit.
Nasty.
Aside from that. This dude is the worst.
I know.
But unfortunately, Yan remained with him for a while. I think she was also like, I'm going to stay with him so I can investigate on my own as well. Like, she was also like, if we separate, I might not be able to like go through your shit, and I might not be able to investigate
get
you
more
anymore.
information. Yeah.
So I think that's why she stayed for a while, but their relationship did get worse and they eventually got divorced. And during the divorce, she was intimidated by Jui-Chin to pay 1.2 million new Taiwanese dollars as a breakup fee, and she wasn't harmed. She was like left unharmed. This dude is so, like, the audacity. That's all I can say. And in 2000, many insurance companies discovered that the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Jui-Chin's relatives, especially his 3 sons, whom all had received head injuries and died from cerebral edema, were suspicious, as were like all of them were insured for millions. The amount for their insurance money were all like
a lot.
Right. And after holding discussions with representatives of previous companies, they unanimously agreed to prevent Jui-Chin from insuring people, and they reported this to the police. The then legislator Chen Jui-Chin was informed of this ordeal.
Thought you were gonna say imported.
That was what I was about to say, but that's not the word. He was informed of this ordeal, and then he held a press conference expressing his doubts of the suspect. Zhao Cheng himself would later personally go and interrogate Jui-Chin, and because Chen Jui-Chin is kind of like a controversial figure in Taiwan, like, he's kind of known to be tough, and because of this, Jui-Chin was so scared that he hid under a table and refused to come out for the interview. Because he was so scared.
Fucking wuss.
Yes, but do you know what he did the next day? He acted like he wasn't hiding under the table. The next day, he angrily announced in front of the media that he would retain the right to pursue the lawsuit against false accusations of legislators. The audacity this man has.
You can tell that he's like sick in the head, because that's a total 360 right there.
Yeah. And he this dude got angry for being accused with murder when
That he
knows
did.
damn well that he in fact is a multiple murderer. So yeah, misplaced confidence.
I wish we had that sometimes.
Yeah. We are too self-aware. This dude has zero self-awareness.
None.
In May 2003, Jui-Chin met Chen Yi-ling, a female insurance saleswoman with whom he started a romantic relationship with. And she was the lady who I mentioned at the top of the episode, the one that was found by a jogger in that area.
Yeah.
He noticed that she had considerable savings and asked his new girlfriend to borrow some money for his mortgage, which she replied that she would consider. Although the pair only knew each other for 2 days,
How
Jui-Chin,
did he know how much she had?
I feel like he was already scouting for these people. He befriended them before he got into a relationship with them.
This is why you don't talk about money with your friends.
Yeah,
or anyone.
maybe he just noticed that she seemed to be financially responsible and shit. I don't know. Maybe he has a checklist of types of people who are financially responsible.
It's no kids, but financially responsible, we'll consider.
Yeah. Or maybe she was saving for something, she was planning to buy a house. You don't really need to say that, oh, I have savings. You can just say, oh, I'm planning to buy a house, and you'd be
you can tell.
ding! Yeah. You can tell that this person has, which is amazing to me because that's not the first thing that would go to my head if someone would mention that they're planning to buy a house. It's just wow, good for you. But this dude was opportunity.
Oh, but then I also just realized he can't marry anymore or go the usual route that he has because he's no longer allowed to get insured for other people. So
yeah, that's true. He got resourceful. But yeah, they only knew each other for 2 days, and he was already planning to kill her and rob her. He invited her by telephone to Wuxiang Emperor's Temple on Shangrong Street in West Chiayi. From there, he took her to Chusan District on his black Jeep. So, I feel also the girls want to be in a, are okay to be in a relationship with him because he also has nice stuff, which would make you think that, oh, this dude might be responsible because he seems to have...
He can afford things.
Stuff, yeah. Yeah. I'm lost again. Oh, yeah. There we go. He then tricked Chen Yi-ling into drinking sleeping pills, and when Chen Yi-ling fell asleep, Jui-Chin tied her hands with a nylon rope. When she awoke, Jui-Chin told her that he wanted to play. So he beat her up and eventually strangled Chen Yi-ling into unconsciousness. When he saw that she was unconscious, he suddenly felt aroused and attempted to have sex with her, but because of his sexual dysfunction, he instead sexually assaulted her. Also, guys, sexual dysfunction is a common thing. Instead of being frustrated about it, men and women have sexual dysfunction issues. It's okay. Instead of being frustrated about it, go see a doctor. Maybe medicine can help you, or talk to a sex guru who can probably help you communicate through it. Communication is key. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to go back to the whole situation. It's such a trip. He made her fall asleep, but waited for her to wake up before doing shit. And then when she's unconscious again, he's like, oh, wow, I want to have sex. I'm confused. What is the thought process here? I'm lost.
Yeah. A lot of serial killers are like that. I don't know what their thought process towards why they do that. It's some kind of form of control and torture, because BTK did that, John Wayne Gacy did that, Jeffrey Dahmer also did that. They would choke their victims until they pass out and then wake them up to do shit. It's insane. It's like a form of control and torture at the same time. It's sick, gross, yuck.
I'm still wrapping my head around it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, but anyway.
Yeah, people like this would never make sense to people like us because we have logical thinking and they don't. Anyway, after he finished, Jui-Chin contemplated on throwing Chen Yiling off a cliff, but because he couldn't bear the thought of not stealing something from her, like, even though that was like his initial plan, he was like, maybe I should just throw her off a cliff right now. But then he was like, you know what? I'll go through with my initial plan. So he robbed her of her gold Rolex watch, jadeite necklace, her rings, and 1 million new Taiwanese dollars in cash in her wallet. And then he also took her credit cards and ATM cards, her mobile phones, and 2 blank checks. Which was like, this girl is loaded, good on you.
Yeah.
But also, as a precaution, guys, let's not do this. Like, let's keep our money in the bank. And, like, if you're hanging out with someone who you barely know, don't bring these stuff with you. Unless, maybe she came from work, and then he was like, let's hang out, and like, the world was different back in the 90s.
True. I don't know how people survived then, to be honest. I feel like people are more precautious now, but
yeah, because of shit like this.
We had to learn a few common sense from people's mistakes then.
But also, I feel like Taiwan is like a really great country. It's similar to Singapore that it's very safe, so she was probably really confident in like bringing that amount of money because she never thought that this would happen to her. But as a precaution, guys, let's not do this. The creeper way is to keep your shit.
Just keep creeping. That's it.
Yep, that's true. So yeah, he then hit Yiling with a stone. Again, it's the same thing as like what he did to his other son. And like he beat her to death and then threw her body off the mountain cliff. After disposing of the corpse, he went to Taipei with his other casual girlfriend, Xiao. On the way...
How many side chicks does he have?
He has a lot, I feel like. I don't know, but I feel like he has a lot. Because he was love bombing people, so that's, I feel like, how he got the girls. But yeah, he gave her the Rolex, which was like, at first I thought he was going to sell the Rolex because he was in debt, but apparently he does not have, his brain doesn't make sense, so he gave the Rolex away. But he held on to Chen Yiling's bank cards. But he couldn't take any money because he didn't know the password. And the
fucking idiot. And then now he can't ask because she's dead.
Right? Stupid. That's what he is.
I'm also wondering why he's never thought of selling shit.
Because he doesn't know how to think. This man is like...
He's a huge idiot.
Yeah, that's what he is. So, because he was trying to withdraw money from the ATM, the attempted theft was detected by the authorities and saw him on the CCTV on the ATMs, which eventually led to his arrest. Like, it was a long process, but they eventually, like, found out who he was. After Jui-Chin was arrested, he tried to bribe the policeman with 4 million new Taiwanese dollars, hoping that they would let him go, but it fell through, obviously. He was reported to have said, I still have a piece of land in Zhongliao. If you help me escape, I can provide you with 4 million new Taiwanese dollars. If the value of the land is not enough, I can blackmail my third wife, Yan Liquin.
He admitted that? What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, come on.
He admitted to police officers. The audacity this man has is
he really
endless.
thought they were bros, man. It's like, come on, I'm a blackmail my wife. Just let me off the hook. What? I'm so confused.
Like, he forgot that he was arrested for murder. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you will pay them, they're not going to let you go because you're a murderer.
Oh my god.
He's
it's
insane.
so stupid, it's funny!
So following his arrest, Jui-Chin confessed to killing Chen Yiling, to Cheng Pi-sha, and all his 3 children, and Wang Shu-ying. He was also linked to the disappearances of 2 other women, in which investigators found out that these women were actually his friends and they were seen hanging out with him before their disappearances, but they couldn't find clear evidence that points towards him. Like, clear enough for them to charge him for their disappearances. And because there's no body, they couldn't really, figure out what would happen.
There wasn't
to actually you murdered them, because they don't know, maybe they ran away, but they feel like he did murder them. According to the police investigation, the 2 women who remain missing, Huang Xin-cheng, a colleague of Jui-Chin and a close friend to his second wife, Wang Shu-ying, disappeared after going to the bank to withdraw 600,000 new Taiwanese dollars. The other was Zhang Wang Huishang, another colleague of Jui-Chin. She was from the Minshong Oil Depot. That's where they met. And then one night, Jui-Chin and Zhang went out for some suye, which is a thing in Taiwan. And then after that, Zhang mysteriously vanished. So that's all the evidence that they have against him. So they don't really know where these girls are. So that's why they couldn't charge him for their disappearances. While in the detention center, Jui-Chin sent a letter to another criminal named Su, claiming to know the whereabouts of the 2 missing women. He claimed that both women were probably abducted by a man named He, or He, H-E. Could be He. But yeah, he was interrogated about those claims. Police initially believed that he was genuinely responsible for their deaths and their disappearances, but it was determined that it was just his plan to avoid prison time, because he could tell them where they are, so he could have lesser time. So they dismissed that. In the letter, though, that Jui-Chin wrote to Su, he claimed that he had many girlfriends who provided money during his multiple marriages, so he had no need to commit crimes, and as long as he liked the woman, there's nothing he felt the need to pursue. So he was like, you want it? I got it. He was like that. After his death sentence was upheld, he retracted his confession and offered to help the police in locating the missing women, but again, his bluff was called out, and because the investigators understood that he was just trying to weasel out of his execution.
Of course, he's fucking terrified. This is a death sentence.
Yeah. Jui-Chin explained to the police that it was difficult for the forensic examiners to distinguish between the murders from head trauma and accidents from stumbling. That's why he chose such conservative methods of murder. That's the word that he chose. Quote unquote conservative.
Is there even such a thing?
A conservative method of murder.
The thought of murder itself is not even conservative at all.
Right? Insane. This man is truly...
It's...
Nothing is clicking for him.
Oh my god, wow. Wow, this dude.
In addition to his wives, Jui-Chin also had several mistresses, most of whom provided him with money to squander on gambling. Authorities believe that this related to his perseverance, in which he would love bomb them. That's why they would feel like they needed to give something in return, because they were oh, he's the one who's giving all the time, let me give back to him, until it's wait a minute, I'm the one who's constantly giving now.
Yeah.
So yeah, his girlfriends also pointed out that he had a quote unquote fighting nature, so that's also another thing for them, that they gave money to him, because they kind of feared him a bit because he was kind of feisty.
Did you, sorry, I don't recall if you mentioned how he looked like physically, because I'm also starting to wonder why all his victims were female or young boys, which leads me to wonder if he's like a tiny person or he's just afraid to confront male.
He's probably not that like physically large,
but he was in the army.
Right. Maybe he was just like really a wuss and thought that this was like the easier way.
Jesus.
He also wrote down the birth dates and years of the death of his murdered relatives in a notebook, which the investigators found in his possession, and he never killed on birthdays to avoid sacrifices to the sun, which I don't know. I'm not familiar what that is. I feel like it's like a thing in their culture in Taiwan, because I tried to search for it and nothing comes up. So yeah, maybe the closest thing that I could find was like people that die on their birthdays get reincarnated. So maybe that's what
probably
he did.
Scared of karma.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, prosecutors said that Jui-Chin had purchased life insurance policies on all 5 relatives without their authorization, and that he had been the sole beneficiary on all of the policies. So he was really stupid, because obviously they would look at this shit. It was way too confident.
How would that work though? Like you getting...
I think he applied on like different insurance companies, because earlier I mentioned that the various companies had a meeting. They had like representatives to like had a meeting with each other, to have a meeting with each other, and that's when they found out that this shit was happening.
No, but I didn't know that you could apply for someone else.
Maybe he forged their signatures.
Damn.
He did the most. That's all I can say.
It's like effort.
Yeah. So yeah, Jui-Chin was indicted by the Nantou District Prosecutor's Office on July 2003 on charges of rape and murder for the death of Chen Yi-ling. Prosecution sought the death penalty. On April 19, 2013, the Ministry of Justice, Cheng Yong-fo, signed an execution warrant for Jui-Chin, and Jui-Chin complained to the prosecutor that this was only done to like settle old scores, like to please the media is what he meant. In retaliation, Attorney Liu countered his words, saying, "Put your grievances to rest, as the court has made a very clear investigation." Like, this isn't about pleasing the media. This is literally what you did. Like, you killed people, and this is what you deserve. So on the day that he was prosecuted, where's the date? Put it down. But yeah, he took a deep breath, and then they injected drugs into him, but they weren't enough to kill him. He was only induced into a coma, so they shot him in the head. He was 62 years old when he died. Excuse me.
Hey, but that's the worst, because I feel like how he died is kind of the same.
He felt the pain.
Karma his victims encountered, wherein it's not immediate death.
Yeah. He deserved it. The following day, since Jui-Chin murdered all of his male heirs, nobody came to collect his corpse after the autopsy. And then, even if he had agreed to donate his organs before he died, no hospital agreed to take him in. And so the legal department had no choice but to discard him in a funeral home. So Jui-Chin's ex-wife, Yan Liquin, made a statement about the matter. Nobody should collect the body. It's okay for the government to take him for reclamation. This person should have died a long time ago. There's no need to put him in the present. The government is not effective. It was time for this man to be shot, and he deserved it. Late justice is not justice. And that's the story of the Chiayi Demon, Chen Jui-Chin.
Wow. I wouldn't say happy, but like at least that dude cannot kill anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
it took a while, but
his story was such a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I felt like it was.
Also, I've never heard of like a serial killer who killed so many and the reason was just like to get money from them, like to take the insurance policy from them.
Actually,
like,
yeah.
And also, like, his way was like to beat them, like,
because usually, especially for serial killers, it's usually for personal gratification. But for him, it was like, no, sorry, I don't know how to sustain my financial, so I'm gonna kill you for money.
Yeah. I feel like there is like a little bit of like personal gratification because he was beating them.
Well, yeah, with the way he
death.
Killed them, but
yeah, but the main reason was like to get their money.
Yeah, the end goal was just like, this is way too much. Like, people would just usually do regular theft, but you went next level.
Yeah, like you could have scammed so many people because I feel like people in Taiwan are very. You know what? No, that's wrong. But compared to like killing people, if I was in his place, I feel like I'd rather go to jail than go through all this shit.
Exactly.
Or if he didn't want to go to jail, scamming people. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck the government. Shit,
start a cult.
Or start a cult because he's very convincing. Like, he had multiple girlfriends and wives. Like, he could have started a cult for these people to, like,
I love how
money.
we're teaching the creepers how to
Guys, don't
get a lot
do
of
it.
money. Honestly,
seek help.
Honestly, if we took no, our advice would probably suck because we're poor as shit. Obviously, we don't know what we're talking about.
Do not follow us.
But I mean, let us know your thoughts on this, you guys. You can drop us a DM at Creepy Convos for Facebook and Twitter, or Creepy Conversations at Instagram, or you can email us at creepyconvos@gmail.com.
Yes. Oh, and if you have stories that you want us to cover, or if you have like personal stories, like if you were scammed or you experienced love bombing, we'd love to know. Submit it to our website, creepyconvos.com.
Oh, yes.
We will prioritize that compared to like if you message us still message us, but we will prioritize the ones on the website.
And if you want to see the video of this episode, subscribe to us on patreon.com/creepyconvos. Or if you just want to listen to us, subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcasts too.
Yes. Also, reviews really help us. So if you have time,
yes,
give us some reviews.
And thanks for creeping, you fucking creeper.
And remember, the government is always watching you.
Bye.
Bye.